What's up, guys? Chad and the Easy Astro Images channel here, and we are going to play with some photons today that we collected last night from the S30PRO. Here at home, just go over a couple images that we did, and we will start with the Pleiades. RGB images have always been a somewhat struggle for me, even from STARFRONT, because the sensors that's on the current line of Seestars are kind of messy and noisy and wonky and everything else. But if you take a look at what I was able to do, 1.5 hours from Bortle 6 here at my house last night on the Pleiades, you can see that having that 585 sensor and being able to push the data really hard and do all of the good processing things that we want to do is really the next step up. So I'm going to show you how we got here. If you appreciate everything we do on the channel, you can support us by becoming a member or buy me a coffee supporter. Our top tier supporters also will get free links to all of my data from STARFRONT, so you can have at it at yourself. So how did we get here? Well, let's get away from the main image here and all of the different versions of image blend and everything else that I did, and we will just take a look at the basic image to start off with here, and then, you know, maybe we'll get into some processing, but I really just wanted to show people what the actual scopes can do here first. So originally out of the stack, this is pretty much what we are looking at after I gave it color calibration, gradient correction, some blur exterminator, and a little bit of noise exterminator, just a little bit. And you can see that the image itself does not have nowhere near the color noise or anything else at all with the 585, and you're able to actually drizzle at like 1x and get a fairly pixelated star. So you've got more star to work with than I've had before, which is good because I kind of gave up drizzling on these scopes because I really didn't see the benefit to it, because it just basically created background bad stuff that just, even with 20 to 30 hours of RGB images from STARFRONT, were just difficult to push and process and work with. Now, the light pollution type of stuff, or like, you know, the dual band filter stuff, wasn't really as hard to work with because we're dealing with false color. We can kind of manipulate the images a lot easier. So I did do some tadpoles and flaming star last night, and then I finished up with some M81, M82, and it picked up a lot of the little extra galaxies. Of course, then the moon came out and everything, which kind of stinks. So how we get to here is pretty much what we're able to do now with all this great type of processing, doing things like in GSS, pushing the color, doing all the things that I really love to do. And that comes along the line of separating the stars out, stretching everything separately, creating a deconvolved or a convolved blurred type of color imaging, and then using a highly detailed luminance layer so you can see how much data I was able to even collect in 1.5 hours, 30-second subs again from Bortle 6. I would have shot longer, but I wanted to, the house and stuff gets in the way. And then we were able to go ahead and start working with that in image blend by combining the luminance with the actual color layer underneath. Then by just using the coloring method. And then I went in and I screened this image here with the luminance again to pull out even more of the detail and the nebulosity and kind of brighten and enhance all that. Really didn't get into a whole lot of color manipulation and all that kind of stuff. I can see there's a little bit of magenta that crept into the image here. Could have went and corrected that a little bit. Did take out a little bit of the green, did take out a little bit of the red as well. But it was way easier to get this overall dust color. I really struggle with the newer, with the other Seestars, trying to get that nice brown tannish dust color, just because there's so much weirdness going on with like the sensor and all that stuff. And, you know, you can see that we've still got noise in there that I left just because, you know, that noise is detail. We could hit this even with even more blur or noise exterminator. Obviously, some of this stuff is kind of false artifacting that it was creating in the background, but that's just kind of the way things are. And then the final image blend was just adding in the stretch stars that I stretched in GHS, added in some saturation to GHS, and everything just turned out great. For the people that are looking for an easier one type of click solution for your just regular images, and you're taking your first image out of your Seestar and you want to actually just start getting better looking images without diving down this kind of a rabbit hole. I will show you, where is the flaming star? I'm going to come back and reprocess these and everything as well. But, you know, if you want to take a look at like a master of the flaming star, you can see, of course, you know, we still got that large type of deal that's going on as far as the screen size and stuff. But, you know, we were able to capture the flaming star and the tadpoles and they're together. There's a lot more information and everything else that's going on inside of here. Going to process through these and everything, and maybe I'll come back and do an actual processing video of this Pleiades data that we have. I would like to add some more data to it. Believe it or not, it's not going to be cloudy again here in Ohio tonight, possibly, so I can probably add a little bit more to this before we ship this baby off to STARFRONT tomorrow to replace my current S30. So we'll have an S30PRO running there and an S50. And I don't know how much use the S50 is going to get now that the Pro is going to be down there. Because again, you know, the data just kind of speaks for itself. I am super happy and super impressed. I haven't really seen anybody do like deep dives into this and do the actual comparisons and kind of stuff yet. But this is the quality that I was hoping to get out of the 585 sensor. And this is a huge generational leap just from someone who has processed so much Seestar and has went back to completely Seestar. In fact, I think a very good comparison would be if we look at probably one of the best images I ever did. But tell you what, just for shits and giggles, if we go back and look at my favorite image that I took out of my 2600 MC Pro, Red Cat 51, and everything else right here, and compared that to what we got right here, obviously my processing skills have improved a lot. Obviously, I could probably push this data a lot more. This has 25 to 30 hours of imaging time built into it. And, you know, I think everybody is going to agree that if you zoom in, you know, the image and stuff does hold up way better together. You can see that there's not as much artifacting and it's just a smoother overall, cleaner image. But I mean, come on, guys, 20% of the money for 80% of the results. I don't know how many times I have to say it, but the truth is the truth. So that's it. Hope you guys appreciate this little comparison. We'll be doing a few more of them as things come along. So we will talk to you all later.